Hello, it's 20 past 5 on Thursday morning, September the 17th. I am at Garth Point in Bangor, North Wales, and I'm with my gravel bike and I'm about to ride non-stop back to Cardiff Bay. Okay, here we are, the ultimate across Wales gravel ride, coast to coast, from Bangor in North Wales down to Cardiff Bay. The route is 385 kilometres with about 7,400 metres of climbing in it, and it's nearly all off-road. So I attempted a ride across Wales off-road about 3 weeks ago, and about 15 hours into it I had some tyre issues that I just couldn't fix, and I had to call it a day with about 100k to go, and it's been bugging me ever since that I need to do this epic ride across Wales. But I wasn't quite happy with the route that I tried first time. I'd used an old mountain biker's route that a couple of guys have done records on, and there's a few things about it that I didn't really like. So the first kind of hour and a half of the ride was all paved cycle path or road, and then the last 2 hours of it would have all been paved cycle path on the Taff Trail. So it was maybe 60 miles of kind of tarmac, and I thought if I was going to do it again, I thought I could make a better route. So I spent a lot of time on Ride with GPS and on Google Earth, and using my experience from my first attempt and my riding in South Wales, I managed to come up with this route I'm doing today. So this one started at Garth Point in Bangor, North Wales, and it goes all the way to Cardiff Bay still. And this one has got much more off-road, and it's about 25 miles longer with an extra 1,400 meters of climbing in it. But I think it's a much better route. I mean, the other one kind of started by hugging the coast and went round Snowdonia, and I kind of thought, well, if you're going to ride across Wales, you've got to go through the middle of Snowdonia. It's the best bit. So that was the first thing I changed. Started on the long last route. So far, it's been perfect. I've had just on a road section now, and then I think I'll descend the other side, back off road again. The forestry trails have all been rideable. And then other tracks just linking farms together and stuff. And every time I tick off a bit that I don't know, that I've only kind of researched on Google Earth, I get really chuffed, because you worry when you're coming up to them whether there's going to be any access issues or whether it's not going to be rideable. And so far so good. And then the end of this route, instead of joining the Taff Trail, kind of going from Brecon to Talbot-on-Usk, and then Taff Trail, we're going to go from Sennybridge, so we drop down off the Epping Ranges to Sennybridge, and then make our way towards Devil's Elbow, and then we've got some tracks to kind of get us up onto the top of there, and then forestry heading towards the Avon Valley, and then there's a national cycle route which is all forestry fire road, which takes you right back nearly to Pontypridd. So we only have to do the paved Taff Trail from Pontypridd, which is like maybe 12 miles or so to the finish, instead of like 30 miles to the finish being all on paved cycle path. So in theory sounds like a better route. When I'm coming over the Epping Ranges in the dark after riding for 18 hours or so, I might not think it was so clever, but we'll see. This little hiker bike section, not far, just up over this little mound here. I'm sure it won't be the last. Okay, the landscape's starting to mellow out a bit now. We leave Snowdonia, not far from Powys now. And once we go through our first stop, we'll have about 60, maybe 70 miles of nearly all forestry tracks through mid-Wales. Snowdonia is epic, but there's a few more sort of paved cycle paths and road sections between rideable sort of forestry tracks and stuff, just because it's so mountainous and rugged. But we are nearly 7 hours in. Really happy with how it's going. Second hiker bike section. I think I'm just on a little bit of the ancient track called San Helen. I was a bit sceptical about adding this bit in because the bits I've ridden in South Wales are pretty bumpy on a gravel bike, but I've had to push a couple of little sections. But on a day like this, with that view, I'm not bothered about pushing my bike a little bit or having a little bit of a hike. Look at that view, man, that is awesome. So warm as well. So hopefully I can get down off this bit without too many issues, and then not far from my stop. And then we get deep into the forestry of mid-Wales. So not long left Machynlleth, where I had a stop, filled up my pack with another 3 litres of fluid, had a chicken and bacon wrap. Really needed something normal, something salty and fatty to fill a hole in my stomach. It's a long time to eat sugary stuff. Don't fall over. I might arrive in Cardiff Bay in time for Wetherspoons to open, and I can have a fry up and a pint of Guinness when I finish. That would be absolutely awesome. Oh, I just had a big climb in a little sort of sun-trapped valley, and had the first sort of wave of starting to feel a bit empty in the legs, so called in the big guns. Just for that down in. I don't like to have too much data on my screen on my bike computer when I'm doing stuff like this, because I like to just have a couple of things, so if I need to know like how far I've gone and stuff, I've got to do some mental arithmetic. It gives me something to do. Seven o'clock. Sun is getting low.
On a long challenge like this, when you get sick of Haribo, these all taste different. Some of them are chewy, some of them melt in your mouth. Loads of flavour. Banging. So I've just figured out that when it gets dark, I'm going to be way further away from anywhere I thought it was going to be. My Wahoo's running low, so time to try out this bad boy. It's got a nice little mount that's going to go on my handlebars, so I can plug it in, keep my Wahoo and my nav going without having to take it off. 7:20. Woohoo!
I honestly thought I'd be much further than this before it got dark. I kind of in my mind thought I'd be at Tirabad by now and heading up onto the Epping Ranges. I'm absolutely miles from that. It's going to be at least 2 hours by the time I'm there. So just kind of mentally preparing myself for that. The only concern now is passing shops. They might not be open. So I've got another water source in mind later on that I think should be pretty safe to drink from. And I've just about got enough food, I think. So yeah. Now heading towards the Epping Ranges, which is a military training ground, and for the last like hour or so of cycling towards it, I've been able to see massive flares going up, and I can hear loads of gunfire and stuff, so that's going to be interesting. It's bits like this when you have to start walking that you realise like how vulnerable you are when you're out in the sticks like this. To realise that now this is less about just pedaling your bike and more about looking after yourself and staying warm.
admin resolving. I've got about 70k left. And it's 3 o'clock in the thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely wrecked now. But I'm so close. I've just got to tap out this climb and then get my way around to the Regos Road, then cross the Mardy Road, and then so close. Time just to eat everything I've got.
So you'll see it's light again, which means I started in the dark, cycled through the whole day, through a whole night, and still got 23k to go. Absolutely battered. Yesterday at about 20 past 5 in the morning, I set off Garth Point in Bangor, North Wales, and rode a self-supported, non-stop, mostly off-road ride back to Cardiff Bay. Just finished. It took me about 26.5 hours. Rode 390 kilometres. Nearly did the same amount of elevation as Everest, about 8,800 metres. So yeah, job done.